They are currently not on my deletion list because they do have magic within them.
3, 2, 1.
And here we go.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, 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 money.
Hey, knotheads. J Money here, and welcome to Not Another Nerdy Podcast.
I knew you'd come.
I'm sure you're already thinking, what is going on? Well, unfortunately, our host, Mr. Tom Van Zant, and our talented co-host, Derek Mitris, a.k.a. D-Rock, have been under the weather for the better part of a week now, so unfortunately it just wasn't going to happen this week with them working a lot, having families, and all that stuff. So, I am here, actually flying solo for the first time ever, and this will be a quick and dirty episode. I'm going to give you my Nintendo Switch midnight release party at Best Buy experience. I'm going to give you a spoiler-free review of Logan, and I'm going to give you a few recommendations. So hopefully this isn't the lowest downloaded podcast in history, so everyone has fun while I'm here alone. But before I do anything, social media. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/notpodcast1. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at notpodcast1. I've pretty much given up on Snapchat because it sucks and it's all about selfies, and nobody wants selfies of me or Tom. They might want some of D-Rock, but not of me and Tom. So, as we all know, I had a Nintendo Switch pre-ordered at Walmart, but unfortunately I was not going to be able to go to pick it up until after work on Friday, which would have been about 10 o'clock Eastern Time. And by then, I felt like everyone would have already bought it, putting up pictures, all this. So, Thursday night, I just decided to go down to the local Best Buy, which is only about 5 minutes away from Not headquarters, and just see what was going on. So I went down there about 11:30 just to check it out, and I walked into the Best Buy, and I was just being shuffled around, and all of a sudden, I was in line of some kind. I wasn't even sure what kind of line. And I'm in a line, and the guy gave me a coupon or a ticket, whatever, and I was number 37. And I'm like, okay, cool. What does this mean? And the security guard was like, you're number 37, dude. We have 40 systems for walk-ins, so you got one. And I'm like, okay, so I guess I'm getting another Nintendo Switch at midnight tonight. So check out the Facebook page. I was taking videos for Facebook Live. The security guard started yelling at me, telling me, you can't film in here, you can't film in here. But I think he was just joking with me because I did film in there. So it took a while after midnight came out. It took me almost 2 hours to get through the line because there was a million people there, people that pre-ordered their systems, people that were there for walk-ups. But I got mine, and I came home, and I set it up, and I virtually milked a cow for the first time, and I can tell you, it was about as exciting as it sounds. So take that for what it's worth. Iron Mike gave a really good, thorough review last week. Next week, when we have a full episode, I'll give a much more thorough review of it. The system is a lot smaller than I thought. I just can't believe it. It's a handheld system that you can play on your TV as well. It's not a console. It's not going to compete with the PlayStation 4. It's not going to compete with the Xbox One. There's just no way it's going to. One cool thing about it is when I have the system and I'm playing and then I just go back to put it in the cradle, it automatically goes to my TV, even if my TV is shut off. It turns the TV on, turns my receiver on, goes to all the correct inputs, and it's just there. The tablet part, which is the complete system itself, feels a lot better than your normal Nintendo stuff. This is not the Wii U gamepad. This is not a toy. It feels a lot better like something Apple would make. The Joy-Cons controllers themselves, those just kind of seem like normal Nintendo stuff. They're okay. So that was my experience at Best Buy for the midnight release. It was cool. I'm not a big Zelda fan, but I hear the Zelda game is like pretty much one of the best games people have ever played. The only game I got was the 1-2 Switch, and I also downloaded a game called Fast RMX, which is like an F-Zero type racing game. It's one of the eShop games. It was like $20. It's cool. I like it a lot. It has like 8 players online. It's definitely worth something to play. It's cool playing on the tablet part and then going right to the TV. That's a fun game. So other than that, the Nintendo Switch, I have not played it at a party yet. So I'm interested when we have a few drinks and we start virtually milking a cow, virtually cradling a baby. We'll see how that all works out. That'll be in a few episodes in a couple of weeks after St. Patrick's Day. So that's about that for the Nintendo Switch. That's all I have to say about that. My quick and fast and dirty review of Logan. This is spoiler free. I'm going to spoil it with my podcast hosts next week. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Out of a 1 to 5 stars, I gave it 4 3/4. My God, X23, where did they find this girl? She is just beyond awesome. Wow, kudos to them for finding her. I did a Wikipedia search, and she did like a TV show for a couple episodes, and I think her father is an actor, but other than that, she has not done anything. And she was just amazing. Her facial expressions, just her movement, oh God, she was just awesome. And oh man, it was great. I love the movie. Super violent, a lot of swearing, definitely earned the R rating. And justly so. It was great. Like I said, she was amazing. Quick recommendations for this week. Last week I was talking about how they are releasing Neo Geo games, which the Neo Geo console was a console from the early to mid 90s, which was basically an exact replica of the Neo Geo arcade machine, which meant that the system itself was like $500, but the games themselves were also like $500 because they were so big at the time. They were like 500 megabytes, where like a Super Nintendo game was 8, and I think they maxed out at 16, and those 16 megabyte games were like $100. So this system, a lot of people played it at home, so we played it in the arcade a lot. But anyways, Metal Slug came out for it, which we had talked about last week. That was one of the Neo Geo classics. I definitely recommend that. That was awesome. Then this past Tuesday on Xbox Live, they released a new version of Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which came out on the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 about 5 years ago. And then they came out with this version this past Tuesday. It has all the characters from the Xbox 360 version, plus all the downloadable characters. So we're up to about over 50 characters now. It has 1080p resolution, 60 frames a second. It's $25 to download it on Xbox Live. If you want a disc version, you have no choice but to go to GameStop because it's a GameStop exclusive. Wah, wah, wah. And that's $30. So I went for the downloadable one because that's one of those games I like to have on my hard drive. I'm going to play that a lot. It's just I like to go to it quick, so I'm going to have it on my hard drive and stuff like that. Other than that, this week, A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, The Dream Warriors, my favorite film in the franchise, celebrated its 30th anniversary. So, because of that, I'm going to leave you with this final thought.
I said, where's the fucking bourbon?
Okay, knotheads, this was J Money. This was a small, I don't even know if we'll consider this a half episode, maybe a quarter episode of Not Another Nerdy Podcast. We will be back next week with a full episode with our host Tom Van Zant and our talented co-host, Mr. D-Rock, Derek Mitras. Until then, follow us on Facebook, like us on Twitter and Instagram. And I realized I did those the opposite. I did that on purpose to be funny. So anyways, check us out on all our internet spots. Come right back here next week for a new episode, a full episode. We're going to go spoilers for Logan like crazy. I'll give some more opinions on the Nintendo Switch after I have over a week with it. And maybe we'll go see Kong. I don't know yet. We'll have to see how work lines up. All right, Knotheads, this was J Money for Not Another Nerdy Podcast. Magic, magic, magic.
Magic.
It's quite fantastic